Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer and this is A Country Life. I have some pecans here. I'm getting those into some melted butter because tonight I am making a brand new recipe called chicken cutlets with pecan sauce. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, I have some butter here. I melted some butter and and I'm going to just kind of toast up these pecans here. I'm actually doubling the chicken, but I'm not going to double the topping because, you know, you're just never sure about the topping. And it would probably just be Warren and me who would want the topping anyway. So that's that. So I just made a little mixture here of flour, salt, and pepper. And I just dredged them. I actually shook them in here. And now I have some oil heating in my cast iron skillet. I'm going to get these browned on both sides and cooked through. It should only take about 3 minutes per side. They're pretty little. Okay, the chicken is done. I have it over here, just keeping it hot. And I couldn't show you the process of exactly what I was doing because I was actually on the phone. And you know, when you have adult kids and they call, you basically drop everything and talk with them. Okay, so this was a half a cup with a half a teaspoon of chicken Knorr seasoning, and I poured that in to the same pan, loosened everything up for a couple of minutes. Then I poured in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, so it kind of seems like it's going to be making like a sweet and sour sauce. A little bit of thyme. It called for a half teaspoon, but I went a little light because we're not huge fans of thyme. And then we're supposed to just kind of like boil it a little bit until it kind of thickens. It doesn't look like much. And now I have to add in 2 tablespoons of butter. So I have that here and I'm going to put that in there as soon as I wonder if I could do this one-handed. Look at that. Okay. And now I just need to melt this butter in here. I think I'll turn this off though. And we're going to serve this with some mashed potatoes and some green beans and some canned pears. Where are you?
Right here.
Way up there.
Here, I'll scoot down a little bit.
So we both just tried the sauce. Peter tried the sauce. I don't like it at all.
I'm gonna give it a go.
You're gonna give it a go.
So bad.
One time, I don't know, 4 years ago, I made a sauce that was supposed to go over something. I don't remember. Do you remember that? And it tasted very similar to this. So what I found out is I don't like vinegar and sugar like in a sauce or something like that.
But you know, you put it with the chicken and the nuts on top.
It might.
I'm gonna try it.
I am gonna take 1 little scoop just to try it. Watch as Warren dishes up his plate.
I am the guinea pig.
Ow. Did you get green beans, Joe? Okay, yes. Oh, Joe, that's Joe's plate tonight. Looks very good. Thank you for spinning it for me, too.
No, look.
All right, so here's the sauce. I mean, it looks pretty, especially the way it's kind of got that nice color.
Are these pecans?
Pecans, like toasted in butter. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, if the sauce is bad, I'll temper it with the pecans.
Yeah.
Oh, it was you.
So far, presentation is like 10 out of 10, but I'm a little concerned about the flavor. So I put the sauce on 1 piece of chicken. How about you?
Yeah, I put the sauce on both pieces of chicken, and I thought it was good. Once you put the nuts on and everything. Yeah,
once the sauce kind of soaked into like that little bit of flour breading that was on the chicken, it wasn't bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be something that I request.
I was gonna say I will never make it again.
That's fine.
It's something I would never make again. I mean, the chicken, fine. It's just little chicken cutlets, right? Dredged in flour, salt, and pepper. That's fine. Okay. But it's that sauce. I would never do that again. But we ate it. It was fine. Joe, you like the chicken?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. All right, today did not quite go as planned. I thought I was going to get into the kitchen here. I had all kinds of plans. Basically, I wanted to do like a full week of meal prep and maybe not just full meals, but even if it was just like partial bits and pieces of meals. And it is actually just about 5 o'clock, and I'm finally going to be getting some time in the kitchen here. So maybe you're thinking, well, what were you doing all day? Well, let's see. After church, we visited for a long time after church, and then we got home, and then Amber came over and we were visiting. And then after that, I was just doing stuff, a couple of brand deals that I have that will be coming here yet in November. So I was dealing with those emails kind of back and forth. And then I wanted to go on a UTV ride with Warren. He was going to show me some of the new deer stands. He and Peter worked on my deer stand yesterday. They put some new boards on it and that because a bear had gotten in and destroyed it. And so we did that, and then that ended up going for a lot longer, I think, than I thought. And then Maria has been cleaning her room. She's kind of behind us here. Oh, there she is. She's been cleaning her room over the course of this last probably 4 or 5 days, and really, really purging. Just a lot of little girl kind of things that she just doesn't really want anymore. And so she goes through all of it, but then I like to go through it again just to make sure that there isn't anything in there that like we could use for some other purpose. All right, I don't need to go into all those details, but anyway, I have the stuff loaded into the back of the car, and I'm finally getting into the kitchen. I did, however, get chicken into the Instant Pot a little while ago, and it beeped, and it is all done. So what I was going to do is just kind of come through, run my, just going to come through and break this up. Look at how soft that is. That is one nice thing about the Instant Pot. It just makes it so nice and soft. So I'm just chopping it right up in the juice that it created because I will use that in my chicken noodle soup. I'm not going to do the soup in the Instant Pot though. I don't know why. I'm just not going to. I haven't really ever made soup in the Instant Pot yet. I suppose I should give it a try sometime. At least I don't think I have done it. But I have my Dutch oven over there, and what I'm going to do is get all of this in there and start making some chicken noodle soup. I also had pulled out some barbecue pork, and it is very hot. I just turned, oh shoot, I thought I turned it to warm and I just turned it back to high. That's not good. I'm glad I noticed that. So anyway, I just got that turned to warm. That we will have later for supper tonight, and this soup is actually going to be for, well, tomorrow, either tomorrow or the next day. Well, believe it or not, I'm actually down in the garden here right now, and I'm going to pull a couple of carrots for my soup. We have had some hard freezes, but nothing that's been really, really bad for like multiple days in a row. I think I'll just 3. Look at how big these carrots are. So I've just been coming down here and pulling when I need carrots. I mean, I still have that much right there. Believe it or not, right now, like I said, it's like 5 o'clock, and I'm out in just a sweater, and I am totally comfortable. It's just been such a different fall this year. I mean, we've had falls like this before. I remember, boy, it must have been back in, I don't know what year it was, 2010 maybe, something like that, maybe even earlier than that. But I remember a very, very warm Thanksgiving, and we were like taking family pictures outside. I think that might be what it's going to be like this year. We'll see. All right, well, I have this simmering away. I'm going to get, I don't know, I'm going to start with 2 tablespoons. 3. I'll start with just about 3 tablespoons of Knorr seasoning. And some pepper. I'm going to get some pepper in here. I did season up the chicken with some Knorr seasoning as well as some lemon pepper when I was cooking it in the Instant Pot. I think I like to do that because then it just adds some good flavor. It like almost infuses the flavor right into the chicken rather than just cooking the chicken without anything and then like waiting to season it with whatever dish you're making. I like to at least get some seasoning into it ahead of time. All right, I'm going to get this covered. I'm going to let that simmer, and that's it. This is really simple chicken noodle soup tonight. It's just, well, you saw, just carrots and celery. Sometimes I like to really soup it up and do like more of a vegetable chicken noodle. If I have frozen corn, frozen peas, green beans, any kind of leftover vegetables in the refrigerator, you can put cabbage in it. I love it like that. Family, no. So I don't really put cabbage in it very often, like once every 10 years. I'm going to head outside, see, actually Warren got a deer, and I don't know where this is all going to come in the lineup and everything, but he got a really, really nice buck. I think tomorrow's going to be a day in the life video, and so we're actually going to like talk about that tomorrow. But him and Peter are cutting up the deer right now. He and Peter are cutting up the deer right now, and I'm sure that they could use some help. Hopefully I'm not going to be a blister and show up right when the work is done. But I did have things that I had to get done in the house, so here I go. All right, I just remembered that I wanted to make some coleslaw before I headed outside because we're having that barbecue pork tonight, pulled pork, and I like coleslaw and a slice of cheese on barbecue pulled pork. I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeballing according to my recipe here. This is in cookbook number 1. And whoops, I should have put a little bit more milk in because I want to make kind of like buttermilk. Save that and give it to Dad.
Okay.
I'm just going to give all of these ingredients a really good stir. This is just like the most typical. This is actually copied off of the KFC Coleslaw. And I would say it's pretty close.
Okay, me and Peter got the first deer done, so you and Marie get the second.
I actually was just trying to finish this up so I could get out there and see if there was anything else that needed.
What we need is we need these covered in saran wrap and put in the beer fridge.
Uh-huh.
Or wherever the fridge.
Yep.
Well, no, it's funny.
What should I make then?
I am making some coleslaw.
What is this stuff?
That's going to have to just mellow a little bit. So just as I was putting the coleslaw into the refrigerator, the guys came in with the already boned or deboned, whichever way you want to say it, with the meat off the bone. And so I guess I saran wrapped the bowls for them, and I'm going to go out and wash some tables now. So anyway, also getting the noodles here into the chicken noodle soup, and I'm going to get the chicken in there. I have it already turned off now, and I'm going to let it cool, and I will put this in the refrigerator overnight. That really lets the flavors go all through it and everything, and then we'll bring this out for tomorrow, either lunch, maybe lunch and supper. We'll see. All right, and this is how supper is turning out. Sometimes I call these like a southern pulled pork. It's got the barbecue pulled pork, a slice of cheese with the coleslaw, and that's how I like to eat it. We've got some cuties. Looks like those are just about gone already, as well as some green beans. You're going to take some of that? You want it on your sandwich, Joe?
No.
Not on your sandwich?
Banana sandwich.
Okay.
They're called sandwich.
Okay.
Juice.
Remember last night I made the chicken noodle soup for today, and this is how it's dishing up.
Yum yum.
Oh, I'm like really zoomed in.
Yum yum.
This afternoon, I am popping back into the kitchen. We are all finished. Well, I'm finished with my part of homeschool that I have to do. The kids are still working on their assignments and things. But anyway, I'm in the kitchen here and I'm putting together something called praline apple bread. This is a new recipe I found in a Southern Living recipe book. And it calls for pecans. I don't have pecans. I have walnuts though, so I'm just gonna go with it. I know that a praline probably should have pecans, but we're going with walnuts. Once I get those nuts into the oven to start toasting, then I'm going to start mixing up the batter. You're going to see me put in some flour and sugar in one of my Tupperware containers. I accidentally, the other day I was making some muffins and I made a mistake. So I just foiled that quick and set it off to the side, thinking that I would just use it for something else, and it actually worked out fine for today. It had almost what I needed for flour and almost what I needed for sugar. So it worked out pretty well that way. I'm going to be mixing this until the dry ingredients are just blended in, and then I'll be adding in 1.5 cups of diced apples. All right, these are going to go into the oven for possibly an hour. The recipe says, to make one loaf in a 9x5 loaf pan, but I wanted 2 smaller loaves because I'm going to keep one and I'm going to give one away. And so I think I'll start with 45 minutes and we'll go from there. 45 minutes turned out to be just exactly what these loaves needed. Loaves, exactly what these loaves needed. And I'm going to let these cool. I think the recipe says let them cool for 10 minutes in the pan, or yes, cool for 10 minutes, then take them out. And in the meantime, I have a stick, 1/2 cup of butter and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And I need to bring this to a boil and boil it for 1 minute. And then I'm going to pour it over top of these apple loaves, and that is what is going to give it kind of that praline flavor. Hot. Ooh, my battery's gonna die. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I just did that. I just spilled praline sauce all down my cupboard. and wasted a bunch of it then.
Could we do something where you read a paragraph and I read a paragraph and you read a paragraph and I read a paragraph?
All right, did you guys see that mess that I just made? In an attempt to show you the like caramely kind of sauce, the butter and brown sugar sauce that I made, I ended up tipping it sideways too far and I spilled it all down my cupboard, or all down my drawers here. So, okay, so that's cleaned up. Battery has been replaced. And let me just show you what these look like. They are so pretty. It says that they need to cool for about an hour before slicing into them. And yeah, that hour cannot go fast enough. So next up, I'm going to be putting together baked sliced potatoes. This is just really simple. So I have 5 potatoes. I'm going to melt a little bit of butter, mix it with some oil, some garlic, salt, a little bit of thyme, and pepper, and pour that over the top. Bake these for about a half an hour. Sometimes they have to go a little longer depending on how toasty you want them to be. Just took a slice of this bread out to Warren, and you guys know he's sometimes a little like about new recipes, and I handed him a slice. I said, I made some bread, you want it? He said, oh yeah, I'm hungry. And he took it and he looked at me right away. That is good. And I said, yeah, it's a new recipe. So anyway, this is an absolute winner. I think the apple could probably be a little bit stronger, so I don't know if next time maybe I would put 2 cups of apple instead of 1.5 cups of apple. Here, this is probably the reason for it not being quite as strong. It called for Granny Smith. I just use the apples off of our trees, so they're not Granny Smith. So maybe that is why it's not quite as strong apple flavor, but still delicious. And actually he sent me back in. He's like, you know, if there's more of that, I'd take another slice. So I'm going to slice him up another piece here. He's out in the shop working on projects, always projects. I don't know, is he going to want a 3rd slice right away? But seriously, look at that. It is absolutely delicious. My recipe says that these potatoes should go in for 25 to 30 minutes. Today mine were in for 35. I think it depends if you choose to do 4 potatoes or 5 potatoes, how big or small your potatoes are, how big of a pan you use. This is actually a little smaller than a 9x13, and so they're a little bit more compact. So anyway, just wanted to, you know, point that out, that maybe 25 will be enough, but it might need to go longer. And these could go longer if I wanted them to be a little bit browner, kind of like this one right here. But we actually are going to be ready to eat here in a little bit. So, and they're done all the way through. They smell really good. Well, we are officially into that time of year when, if I'm going to be filming at supper time, it's just really bad lighting, so just bear with me. But do you guys ever have that where you have your hair up in a ponytail or in bobby pins or something like that for just so long? You just can't take it another second. I had to take the bobby pins out and then just throw it up in this little clip. I see the hair's already falling out of it, but anyway, just needed to keep it back for cooking. I have
Come on, Cole.
bacon grease, and I have onions, and I have venison tenderloin. And that means one thing, that there was a deer, and I have my cast iron down, and we are going to get all of this fried up. Favorite thing to do with deer. And I just had someone again say that they're brand new to hunting, or their family or something is brand new to hunting, and that they just like the tips that I have given on venison. One thing I would say is don't go into venison thinking that you want to try to make it taste like anything else. That's like going into cooking beef and saying, oh, I want to put some kind of seasoning in here to make it taste like a different meat. You're not going to be able to do that. So my best advice is to, one, trim your venison lean and clean. Then you will get the best tasting venison that you possibly can. Hair, extra fat, not cutting around like any bloodshot areas of the meat. That is all going to result in a poor product. And then the other thing is definitely you do want to season it, but you're seasoning it to bring out a good flavor of venison, not to try to make it taste like something else, okay? Even if you use beef bouillon, you're not going into it thinking, well, I'm going to add beef bouillon so it tastes exactly like beef. It's still going to be venison. So I have found that venison can use about a teaspoon of salt per pound of meat. You may want to start on the light side because you can always salt and pepper at the table. But that is one thing that will really just add good flavor. Garlic is a great flavoring with venison. Bacon grease is a fantastic flavoring. I think bacon and venison go really well together. You get that good salty fat with that super lean meat. All right, I could probably go on forever about venison. I love it. But this is going to be supper tonight. Super easy. A lot of people would slice up, maybe not a lot, but I know some of my uncles would be slicing up mushrooms or something to go with this, or throwing in a can of mushrooms. That's not really my thing, but I have done it before. But really just some onion. I'm going to cube up the tenderloins here, nice and small, and get those salt and peppered. Okay. Well, I think what I'll do is just get these in here. I'm going to get into the kitchen in just a second to start on a full meal. Let's just cook an entire meal from scratch and film the whole thing. So I'm going to get into the kitchen. I do have plans on making a brand new pork chop recipe. It's in the oven with roasted green beans. It sounds delicious. I'm going to have to double it because we're going to have a house of probably 8 people here tonight. So I will have to double that recipe. I'm also going to make chewy brownie cookies. It's something I have not made in a while, and I know that my family would appreciate that because, well, because everybody likes chocolate. All right, I quickly had to make a change of plan because I realized that I'm out of cocoa powder, so we're gonna do Grandma's peanut butter cookies instead. it's time to get thinking about like the meal part and not just the dessert. So oven fried pork chops with roasted green beans and pecans is the recipe. But I'm reading over this recipe again. Does that sound good, Joe?
Yeah.
And you don't put the pork chops in the oven at all. So
Pork chops.
oven fried pork chops. I was thinking in my mind when I saw that title, and then I just quick read it, because I a lot of times will read through cookbooks and put sticky notes on things like when I'm laying in bed at night before falling asleep. So this could be, you know, I'm already tired. And when I read that, I was thinking it was going to be something like Grandma's oven fried chicken, or I was going to dredge it in something, breadcrumbs, flour, something like that. And then it was going to go into the oven. Wouldn't you think that too? Oven fried pork chops? But no. There's no part of the recipe where the pork chops enter the oven at all. They're made on the stove top. We're actually going to do it on the Blackstone. The only thing that goes in the oven are the green beans. So I have green beans right here. I was just going to get those rinsed and I'm going to pat them dry because I want the oil to stick to them. So rinse, pat dry, put into a bowl with a couple tablespoons, because I have a little more green beans than what it calls for, with a little bit more olive oil and then some salt. I think that's it. Yes, that is it. Just olive oil and salt. So to get the green beans started, I have to roast them at 450 degrees for about 18 minutes.
Crazy. About this one is so good, and about this one is new about the screen. Just bottom and try it. I'm gonna go and follows up.
So I have a pie plate. I'm just going to get some of the ingredients for the pork chops. So a half a cup of panko crumbs. I actually have a lot of pork chops. I thought we were going to be 8 of us eating tonight. We're down to 7 now. Maybe we'll only be down to 6. I don't know. But the meat's thawed. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. So, whoops. I guess I only want a 1/4 cup or so of Parmesan. And do some black pepper. Straight black pepper. Rather than use straight thyme, since I know I've mentioned this, and for some reason this cookbook, like every recipe calls for thyme. So I mentioned it a lot in the last couple of Meals of the Week videos that we're not big thyme fans. And so, like, if it calls for a half a teaspoon, I'll put in a 1/4 teaspoon. If it calls for a teaspoon, I'll probably still put in only a 1/4 teaspoon. But I thought this would be good. This is the new Smith Brothers Meats. Got this up in
Colby.
Yep, exactly, up in Colby, Wisconsin. And it says Ultimate Steak and Roast Rub. And then on the back it says to use on beef steaks, roast poultry, and pork. So we're going to use this.
Just go.
So I'm going to put about a teaspoon of this in. And this has salt too, I think. Yes, definitely has salt. All right, that's got some red pepper in it. Wow, that is spicy.
Where's that go? Maybe.
I'm also going to get the pork chops ready here just so they are ready to go. And I'm going to press each side into the crumbs, give it a little shake off, and then just lay it here on this baking sheet so that they are ready to go as soon as Warren gets in. Ooh, some of those bones are sharp. Ouch. These are the pork chops from the half a hog that we bought. We made, like, I think when we first picked up the meat, I made pork chops on the Blackstone, and they were delicious. I had this idea that I should trim off some of the fat, and then I thought, no, the first time I'm just going to let it go. And this fat just cooks up so beautifully and so melty. It's like you don't even want to, I'm just so glad that I didn't cut that off. So just kind of wanted to point that out. When you buy, you know, pork straight from a farmer where they've raised it, maybe a little bit different, where they've raised it differently than the commercial growers, you know, you don't need to cut off all that fat. It has delicious, delicious flavor. Okay, I have so many pork chops here. Do you think Luke Bryan went hunting this weekend, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm in my pants. It's America. I'm gonna be my hand. Do, 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 do. Let me see you.
Oops, my bad.
That's right. I'm gonna be my hand. My wrist come high. And I'm going to have my salt.
Almost out of my breadcrumb mixture.
Anything is bad.
What?
This is bad.
This, I just need this little piece right here off.
Yep, is picked up.
Yep. She's gonna wrestle with that just like I do. You gotta turn it now until the close lines up with this little arrow here.
Hey, football. You wanna play football?
Nope, nope. Just wait, just wait, just wait. What's going on? Why is it stuck? So like this, and then, nope. This word close has to line up there. There we go. Now you have to make sure that this is turned all the way to ceiling, all the way back. Yep, yep, just like that. Okay, and now you're going to go down here and you're going to hit pressure cook. And then you're going to go to pressure level and hit the up button till it goes all the way to high. Okay, and then you're going to go back and hit pressure cook again. And then you're going to put it up to 20 minutes.
Oops.
And that's it. You don't even have to hit start. It'll automatically start pressurizing, and that is all there is to it. Well, it's a pretty windy day. You can hear the leaves kind of blowing around, and the chime is just a chiming. But I wanted to point out that one of the things that we've been doing with the Blackstone is when we're all done with it, we have been turning it back up to high, scraping it, and then adding a thin layer of oil before putting the lid on it. We found it just, it stays like cleaner. It doesn't get any rust. And then what I do is when we're going to use it again, I just turn it onto high. I don't know what I'm filming here. I'm trying to work and talk and film all at the same time here. But we just turn it back on to high, and I just kind of slide a paper towel around to get that off. Then I add a fresh little thin layer of oil before putting down whatever meat I'm going to be cooking. Like tonight, it's going to be the pork chops. So once the Blackstone is really, really hot, that's when I actually put the meat on here. I'm just going to let this sear. I don't even know, probably maybe 4 minutes. These are pretty thick before I flip them to the other side. But I do keep the heat pretty high. Maybe not all the way on high, but medium high. Another little trick I found with the Blackstone is to, I gotta put this meat thermometer in my pocket, okay, is to have like a lid and just kind of cover the meat a little bit once you've seared it on the one side and you flip it over. Just cover it a little and it just holds in the heat and helps to cook the internal so that you don't have to get the outside, you know, so incredibly dark before the inside gets done. They make special domes that you can buy. It's like a Blackstone accessory. We don't have that. I just have a couple of lids, and I sometimes, you know, there we go. I can get them closer together and I can get that on so that it seals in the heat. And then I'll do it like 2 minutes on that one. I'll transfer it, 2 minutes, that kind of thing. And it works really well. Hey Joe, are you going to take a potato, or is there no way to get one? Hot potato, hot potato? All right, well, we're going to just do a quick little review. Supper tonight.
It was great. Very good.
I put the camera way up there.
Here, I'll go back down.
I never know what to do. It's so hard. Yeah, I wondered if doing that coating was really going to be worth it, because last time I made the pork chops on the Blackstone, I just seasoned them and fried them that way. And Warren said it was very good with the coating. You thought it was worth it.
Yes.
And I thought it was delicious. I think they were both just as good. But I would do that coating again. You don't even need a recipe, guys, to do it. It's just some panko crumbs, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, just like the grated shaky cheese, along with whatever seasoning you like. In the original recipe called for pepper, salt, and thyme, but as I've mentioned before, that's not our favorite seasoning, and so I just used like a steak seasoning and some extra pepper, and that was really, really good. The pecans with conversations going on in the back, I don't know what it is. The pecans with green beans, I really like that. What did you guys think of pecans with green beans?
No.
You didn't like it, Peter?
They're gross.
Okay, Peter says it
They're
was gross.
soggy.
Oh, you thought they were kind of soggy?
They didn't taste good.
Oh, I like that. I liked how they...
No, not even that, 0.
That's not very nice.
Okay, they were a 1.
They were a 1, all right. Well, Warren liked it, I liked it, and there's not a whole lot of green beans left either. Baked potato in the Instant Pot, always good, always easy. So that was definitely a winner.